One.
Hi everybody, it's Maxine Kaye, and you might notice that yoga is not on my lap today. She's just so comfortable I couldn't disturb her. But we are from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, and we're bringing you another love note today. It's my turn, and I always love it when it's my turn. So I want to talk to you today about a few things. And first of all, I want to ask you, how are you? How is this sequestering going for you? Are you doing well with knowing that things are different than they used to be, and they're not what they're going to be, and that you and I have a lot to say about how we move through these uncertain times and how we recreate our consciousness in order to recreate our world anew when we're ready to experience it in a different way. And Reverend Mike and I go for our walks almost every day, nice long walks. And it's so beautiful, even though it's been chilly here. It's been sunny, a little rain, but gorgeous. The clouds are wonderful. The trees are beautiful. And we love it when the wind comes up and the trees move. It's like they're dancing. And I was reading William Blake the other day, and he says, "The tree which moves some to tears of joy is in the eyes of others only a green thing that stands in the way." Oh, wouldn't it be too bad if we saw these beautiful trees as just green things that are in the way? In the way of what? You know, they're here expressing their beauty and bringing out within us such gratitude and such joy just to see that no matter what is taking place temporarily in the world out there, that nature still is nature, still beautiful, still bringing beauty to us, bringing joy, if we'll just open our hearts to receive it. I've also been thinking about a beautiful teacher of mine. Don't we all have so many teachers over our lifetimes? And this one was a wonderful gentleman by the name of Sri Eknath Iswaran. And he came from the Blue Mountains in southern India in the 60s. He came over, he was a professor, and he came over to the University of California at Berkeley. Remember how that school was in the 60s? Crazy! And so he came over on a Fulbright, and he fell in love with all these crazy students and decided to stay. So he taught at Berkeley for a number of years, and one of my professors there a number of years ago was a part of Sri Eknath Iswaran's group and in Northern California. And so I had the great joy of studying with Iswaran. And what a powerful, peaceful, beautiful man who taught meditation and who spoke in such an erudite way of all the great mystics and saints and theologians and scientists and professors. And it was a joy to be with him and to be with his group. And thinking about how you and I need to create a new hypothesis, not only about how we think about ourselves and about our world, but about how we can finally co-create a world that truly does work for all. Because one of the stories that he told was about a man in India who, in order to feed his family, had a bear, a dancing bear that he kept in a very small cage. And he would take the bear in his small cage on wheels around town, different towns, and he would have the bear perform so that he'd get a few rupees, and that's how he made his living in order to feed his family. And there was a man in the town who was outraged that the bear had such bad treatment. And this anger was so strong within him, it was righteous indignation Did you ever experience righteous indignation where you know those people are doing all the wrong things and you really need to tell them what for? Well, it's not terribly effective. Usually it starts a fight, some sort of conflict which can escalate, and that is not what we want. So this man had worked with a meditation master and ultimately came to realize that his anger was an issue that he needed to resolve in order to make any kind of difference with any situation, person, place, or thing in the world. And he finally came to realize that this anger was an energy, and it was revelatory. It was simply telling him something that was amiss. It wasn't right for this poor bear to have such a tiny little cage and to have to perform, and he couldn't even be in the wild where his other friends would have been. So this man decided very wisely to go to the owner of the bear and to have a little talk with him. Turned out that the man who went to speak to him was a carpenter. So what he did was he came to the man with the bear and he said, "Your bear is quite beautiful and his dancing is delightful. However, he seems so unhappy to have such a small cage to live in." And the man said, "Well, yes, I know, but there's nothing I can do about it. I have to have the bear in order to feed my family." And the man said, "I understand that." But he said, "I have an idea." He said, "What if I built a much larger enclosement for him? Would that be all right with you?" "Why, yes," he said, "but I don't have money to pay you for that." "It's all right." He said, "I'd like to donate the materials and my time and talent in order to do that." And he built the larger cage for the bear. The man still took him around the towns because that's how he made his living, feed his family. And that's important too. But the bear was, so much more comfortable now. This man had done a beautiful thing, hadn't he? And he did it by looking at his angry emotions, finding what they meant to him, what they were revealing to him, and ultimately what he could do with that energy. Now, we have a lot of negative energies. Some of it's fear, some of it's anger. And don't you know that most of the anger has fear at the heart of it? Like if you're driving down the freeway and somebody cuts you off and you start saying things that you wouldn't say in front of your grandchildren and making all kinds of hand motions that you wouldn't want them to see either. Well, of course, none of you do that, but I've heard about it in the movies, that if somebody gets you very angry, isn't it because you were frightened, because you were afraid for your life? So a lot of anger comes out of that. So much of the fear and much of the negative emotions that we feel and much of the uncertainty, they're emotions that we have perhaps more control over than we realize. Because once we understand what it's about, and if it involves another person in our lives, we can do what this man in India did in our own ways, to find a way to connect with the person, to find a solution together. It's very much like Payson and Chris and Bert are doing in our congregation right now, and that is facilitating the Braver Angels group, which is, excuse me, but I have a dog to pick up. Hi, darling, come over and say hi to the folks, okay? Here she is. Yoga, say hi. And the Berts have become a part of this wonderful organization called Braver Angels. And it is a way to bring people of different political persuasions in the same room to learn about each other, to ask questions, to answer honestly, and to find ways to understand each other so that there's not the conflict there's the understanding, the cooperation, the working together. Huh. You're very harmonious, aren't you? You work very nicely with everybody. So you and I have an opportunity as we're recreating our world during these quieter times. We have an opportunity to do our inner work, to look at those negative feelings and emotions that we have and ask, what is this trying to teach me? What can I learn here? And how can I ask our inner wisdom? How can I use the energy of this to make a difference in my life and in the greater world itself? So Yoga and I are grateful that you tuned in to us. We're very grateful that, yeah, she's bored with the whole thing. We're grateful that you continue to support our beloved center. And you know, Reverend Mike and I go up every Sunday morning to do the live streaming. And it's just he and I and our production crew, which is amazing. Tune in. All you need to do is go to cslphilly.org, and it tells you exactly how to get in for the live streaming. It also shows you how you can look at these past love notes and stay connected with us. It's important that we stay together while we can't physically be together. So you'll learn all kinds of things on our beautiful new website, including how to make contributions, because it's essential to keep us alive and well that we support this beloved center, which continues to support us all in so many beautiful ways. So until tomorrow, when Reverend Mike will be delivering a love note to you, we just say thank you. Thank you for staying healthy. Thank you for being wise. Thank you for the love that you share. And please know how much we love you. Isn't that right, Yoga? Say bye-bye.